Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. We are going to continue our journey in discovering one new Chinese expression a day. My native town, and I have the privilege to kind of looking back on my own culture, my own language from the perspective of English language users as well. Okay, yesterday we talked about 勇敢的心, which is a translation of brave heart. And this is one of the rare cases that Chinese translation actually use more words if we regard individual characters as words than English. English just brave heart, but Chinese got 勇敢的, which is brave equivalent, 心. Okay, today we continue with 心. In 心如止水. 心如止水. Okay, I want to tell a little bit personal story about me and this expression. Because, okay, imagine how many for English speakers, how many expressions you pick up in your life that you remember exactly who you pick it up from, in what situation, who, where, in what setting that you pick up an expression. Do you remember any of such expressions? Now do you remember the starting point of you have a connection, make a connection, have an understanding, and incorporate that expression into your own personal vocabulary or way of saying things, right? So this is one of the few that I can remember the time and from whom that I pick up this expression. Actually, I picked it up in my probably early 20s, in college time in China, in the dormitory that with other girls, and they use such expression. I know a particular girl that used this expression, and it sounds so foreign to me. Like I had no clue, like how we can describe one's heart act as if it's a stopped water. That doesn't make sense to me back then. Now, after 3 decades, wait, I don't know exactly how many decades. Decades, okay, let's don't specify my age. Decades later, after experiencing something through life, I can appreciate this expression's calming effect in one's mindset. Because a lot of times through the turbulence of life, if we compare our mental being as water, right? Because in this expression where we are comparing heart to water, and water got different state of being, right? It could be water like a waterfall, water like in the ocean, or in a tidal ebbs and flows, right? Water that's with waves, or in this case, it actually describes water in the shape of it's stopped. Like water is not flowing, water that's static. Can you imagine your state of being, your mindset? It's kind of hovering, it's not flowing anywhere. You hold still. This power of being still. In this case, Chinese expression use 止 to mean that it's not going anywhere. You're having your mental state that's, I would say, balanced and calm and peaceful, that as if this is the water that's not flowing. Okay, that's the overall. Now let's go to individual character. Heart. We use this heart symbol a lot. This is contemporary Chinese heart. So basically it's a one kind of semi-opening space with 3 dots, and each dot is a simplification of the ancient expression with these curves, these tubes that's connected to this chamber. So I view it as the chamber with input tube, output tube, because heart acts as a pump, right? You have blood coming in and blood squished out, form the circulation. And then the third tube is the power line, the bloodline to the heart itself, the organ itself. So that's a heart basic structure, and contemporary Chinese simplified into this. That makes sense too. So the 3 tubes, except the tubes should have attached to the heart, so that we know it forms a continuous loop, the circulation loop. Okay, Ru, we have a female figure on the left side. And a female figure in ancient Chinese actually means unmarried daughter. So daughter, unmarried, supposed to behave in a certain way that looks submissive, have their arms like folded in the front over here, folded arms in the front, and a little bit hip over there. So it looks humble and submissive. That's the expectation of women, unmarried women back then. Okay, the right hand side is the mouse symbol. So mouse symbol can mean multiple things, but most often it's used to express giving orders. So mouse is related to speaking, giving orders, and then the woman supposedly to follow the orders. And so this female following whatever the decree or the instructions over there, symbolized by the mouse symbol, that forms this following, this obeying, and from this obeying extended into this comparison of one follows the other, so almost like a sequential, not exactly sequential, or at least some correlation between speaking and acting. So speaking is the mouse, right? And acting is this submissive woman image that you act based on what's given, the instructions over there. So that becomes this connector word that's comparing A to B. So in this case, we're comparing heart to water. And this water sign we came across a lot too. And the simplified Chinese version have this main stream in the middle, and then the left and the right written in like separately from the main body. And we can kind of see the ancient original Chinese expression that came more in its natural or realistic rendering of how water flows. The main stream like this, and then along the side, there are 4 strokes, kind of side stream that's closer to the bank, more easily got interrupted by the fallen trees or logs, stones in the river. So it's broken, but the middle stream that runs the deepest, fastest is a continuation of stream. So that depicts water in its natural state, which is in the river or stream or creek, however scale of the water body, right? Versus water in contemporary Chinese, in our understanding, in our daily interaction with water, the material or the element, it's mostly tap water, right? So this water sign, as a contemporary Chinese user, I came to the world used to tap water or drinking glass of water. Never thought about like how that symbol came into being, but it turned out it means the water in its flowing state. It's water in nature running down the mountains and having this depiction of stream, of this flowy image of it. Okay, so we have heart, water comparison, but the key message there is 止. I translated as stopped because it came from this foot symbol. Somehow the foot symbol in Chinese was used to mean stopped your footstep, like stop standing there, not moving. And this foot symbol is, I call it a cactus looking, because it does look like a cactus, right? But these are actually abstraction of the depiction of 3 toes. We have 5 toes, right? A lot of times Chinese express hands in 3-finger hands symbol like this. And correspondingly, instead of drawing out all 5 toes, 3 toes were represented over here. And then this is the arch or the main body or the sole of the foot. And when the middle foot was like this middle vertical line represent the direction of the foot. So it's kind of oriented that way. And when there is no movement, let's see, do we have, I don't think we have example here, but like maybe 2 episodes ago, we have formation of this foot symbol plus the 3 strokes. And when the 3 strokes are added, that means the foot actually is moving because you see a recurring pattern of the foot moving through space represented by the 3 strokes, which is the left foot steps. The right side was omitted. It's implied because you cannot hop all the time, right? You have to walk both foot alternatively. And only by the left side of the foot, the 3 strokes, is enough to show that the foot is actually moving. So that's kind of on the move. So now without the 3 strokes, that means you only have the foot. You're not moving, going anywhere. So this foot symbol by itself actually means stop, not moving, standing still. So this, I translate as stopped water, but water is really not exactly stoppable, right? Water is a flowy and shapeless thing that can adapt to any kind of space, but it keeps moving. And how can you stop water? I think the language creator used stop to mostly mean still water. That water is not moving as if it's in a lake or a contained environment, that the water is not in this natural state of like with gravity, right? The water have to flow from high ground to lower ground. But in a kind of a basin, then the water is contained within that environment. And on the surface of the water, you will see more calm surface because water is not moving. So in that sense, still water probably is more appropriate. But I think the second intention between the, put this stop symbol over there instead of a 静水, because 静 means still, not moving. We have 动 and 静. 动 is moving, 静 is not moving. So instead of 心如静水, we use 止水, because there implies your human conscious control of your mindset because we all have monkey mind, right? This is to encourage people try to stop the crazy ideas or the busy mind in there. Have this intentional control of the state of being, as if you can stop the water flowing by controlling how your heart feels. Okay, so if I translate it into one Chinese word, English word, it'll be more likely peaceful. Peaceful in accepting how things are going, in having the turbulence of the life, be able to consciously control. So instead of control how life turns around, we can control the internal being, right? So almost like in this image of this early, I guess, either sunrise or sunset, peaceful, quiet time when the surface of the water appear most peaceful, almost like a mirror over there. That is the mental being that we, at least in this Chinese phrase, is encouraging people to achieve, as if you can stop the flow of the water and you can hold your mind still, regardless of what's happening around you, that you want to resort to come back to the peacefulness of yourself, to kind of reconcile yourself to the ongoing events of the world. So that's Chinese 心如止水. Okay, cash in intelligence. See you thinking back one more today with Sophie. See you next day.